Good afternoon, this is David Wendell with BushcraftOnFire, and what I'm doing is I'm splitting out some red oak. We've had a lot of requests on how to make fuzz sticks or shave sticks to start your fire. So what we wanted to do today is to show you a couple different things that you can do to make fuzz sticks. And the first thing I'm going to do, because everybody thinks you gotta be limited to a knife or something, this is just an old axe. We use this axe all the time. And so I want to do this, make this fuzz stick or feather stick, if you would, with this axe. And just to show you that this can be done, you just put your axe on here and begin to shave down, and you can see those pieces coming off of there. Now this axe is pretty sharp. But it's not the best in the world. It sure doesn't compare to a knife. But you see, this can be done just with an axe. You don't have to have a big fancy knife. And you can get some shavings that are pretty good on there and give you something to start your fire with. Now, as I said, that's not the easiest way to do it. And one thing you don't want to do when you're getting all your shavings, you're going to have little pieces that fall off. Don't throw them away. Keep a hold of them, because when you go to start your fire, they're going to help you out. But let me show you a couple of other techniques that we can use. I'm going to take out my Mora here. Now, one of the tricks in making really good feather sticks is to have a good sharp knife. There's a couple of ways that you can make feather sticks. This is just another piece of wood that was split out. A lot of people will make feather sticks by holding a knife in their hand and scraping along. And this is very hard. It's hard to control. A better way is to put your stick down and to straighten your arm. You can see that my entire arm is locked out here. And then I'm going to just use my whole body weight to go down on this stick. That way you can see that I'm getting nice, long, even pieces, and that they come off there with relative ease. So I can get an awful lot of shavings off of just one stick. Now let me say this while I'm here. There's really no right way and wrong way to make a feather stick. I know that people will try to throw judgment because your feather stick isn't right, but if you just take your thumb, get a piece of wood here. If you just take your thumb and push out some small pieces like this, and these are kind of thick, they're kind of short and stubby, and a lot of people have a feather stick or a fuzz stick that looks like that when they're done. That's not necessarily wrong. If it's good dry wood and you have enough of these, that's still going to work. But if you can get these strips long like this, and if you can get them narrow, it's almost like mini pieces of tinder. Now, we've had an awful lot of rain around here for the last 3 weeks or so. In fact, there's nothing dry. And so I've got to split into everything that I do. And again, if I go and take this and I begin to move down, the inside of this wood is dry. Let's get that piece off there, it's in our way, okay. And you can see that with the sharp knife, I can make very, very thin shavings. Now you can see that both of these were made from the same stick. They're both red oak, but this is thick, whereas these are much shorter. Let me share with you a reason why people get a problem with this. What they try and do is to really carve in there and carve these things out. You don't have to do that, folks. If you just let your knife slide down there, look at how thin I can get. See if Tam can really zoom in on this. These are almost hair-like structures coming off this wood. And the reason I get these so thin is because I'm not pressing hard, and because the knife is sharp, and because it's going to make a good long piece coming down. Let me show you a couple tricks with your knife. If you go straight down the piece of wood, you notice that the wood is coming off straight out away from the wood. If I was to tilt my blade down, See the tilt, the point of my blade. Did you see what happened with that curl? Let me do that again. And almost kind of slice off here, real thin. You see those are curling in. Likewise, if I did it the other way, and I put the handle of my knife down, those slices are going to curl the other way. I hope you can see that. This way you can fill your whole fuzz stick up and get more surface area on it to give you better catching capability. So let me do this. Let me make a few fuzz sticks here real quick. And then we're going to go over to the fire and we're going to see if we can't start a fire with these. Now for those people that want to flame me because I'm using pieces of wood that may have been seasoned, first of all, they aren't seasoned, we just cut them the other day, but that's okay. I just went out to the bush, got a stick, and I'll show you how to make a fuzz stick out of this as well. You know, a lot of times you need to split your wood down. This is a little smaller, but we do the same thing, and you can see this comes off in very, very thin pieces. Don't get frustrated if at first you get a little bit that falls off. They're going to still work. You know, it's all going to be in the same place in the fire pit. You don't have to be in a rush when you're making your stick. You just need to make the stick good. And what I'm going to do, because this stick is kind of round, I'm going to go the whole way around this. And you can see I'm angling my blade down and it's wrapping those around the stick. See how that's doing? And it's going to make a very nice fuzz stick or feather stick when we're done. I keep referring them by both names because people know them by different names. I actually grew up calling them fuzz sticks, but a lot of people call them feather sticks. Neither name is acceptable. Fire sticks is another term. This is a pretty small stick. You can see it's only about maybe a 1/4 inch, but we got a pretty nice fuzz stick out of that. So you're not limited by size. You know, you split your wood out and get it there. So let's take this stuff up to the fire pit and let's see how it'll do. I'm going to place some of these feather sticks on top of here, and you can see they turned out pretty well. Got a lot of little shavings. Just throw them right on top. And I probably, in honesty, don't need this tinder underneath. They're probably going to catch. But I'm going to guarantee my success by doing one more thing here. Let me show you that. This is actually a piece of pine wood. We call this fat wood. And this stuff burns really hot. We split this out of a pine stump. One of the nice things about this is you can do the same thing with this. You can see those real fine little pieces that I'm getting. And that will light very quick and burn very hot. I'm going to set that right here and actually try and light those pines. What I'm going to use right now, I'm just going to try a lighter real quick. Like I said, I could throw a spark into a pile of shavings. I could, if I lit a cotton ball under here with the metal match, it would light right up. But for now, it's real windy. You can see how fast that stuff lights. And we're going to have quite a fire here. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video on making a feather stick or a fuzz stick. Again, it's pretty simple to do. Remember this, there's no wrong way to do it if it works for you. This is David Wendell with Bushcraft on Fire. Get out into the bush, practice your skills. Thanks so much for your support, and have a great day.